There it is. That is the knuckle roll coin flourish with my 1879 Morgan silver dollar. It's not the piece variety, it's the open winged one. And I'll get into why I did that later. But I wanted to have a discussion with you about MMA. And I guess it can go for sports in general. But MMA is the sport that I like to watch. Anytime there's a UFC pay-per-view, I'm usually at Buffalo Wild Wings watching it. But there's something that really, really irritates me about UFC and Bellator, and it's the drama. It's the trash talking at weigh-ins and press conference that they're talking bad about each other's families. Oh, you're not a real man. I'm a real man. I can satisfy your woman. Whatever, that kind of stuff. When they're talking about each other's families and talking about personal stuff to make the other guy angry, that really, really irritates me, because I find myself not rooting for someone because they're a good martial artist and I want to see them succeed, or I'm not rooting for someone because they're an underdog and I want them to succeed. I'm rooting for someone because they were insulted, and I want them to prove the other guy wrong who insulted them. And to me, that's not a good way to pick a sports team or athlete. I really don't like the trash talking and drama. It's by the way, I'd really like to see MMA become an Olympic sport, but I don't think it will happen if there's all the drama. They have traditional martial arts in the Olympics, and they have some other martial arts in the Olympics that unfortunately does not get shown on TV, because I don't know why. I would love to see judo, karate, taekwondo on the Olympics. I would love to see the shooting competitions in the Olympics. Although in the Winter Olympics they do have the shooting. I think it's like the triathlon or whatever. But I would like to see that. But they don't show it for whatever reason. I don't know. I come from a traditional martial arts background. I went into one tournament. It was a small tournament, and I did okay. And you didn't know who you were going to necessarily be fighting against or sparring against at any given moment, or not ahead of time at least. And there was never this hatred or animosity. There was never this macho trash talking thing. We respected the other person that we're fighting, and there's a very important reason why. And this goes for all sports, football, soccer, American football. You're only as good as the athlete or the team you're competing against. You're only as good as your competitor. And what I mean by that is, if as a fighter, let's just say, if I was in traditional martial arts, taekwondo. The only martial arts I really practice now is knife fighting. But back when I was in taekwondo, I was only as good as the person I was fighting. The reason, because if there was no opponent, then there was no match. If there's no opponent in MMA, there's no pay-per-view. If you don't have an opposing team, then you have no Super Bowl. So why hate the other competitor when your job depends on them being there to compete against you? It doesn't make sense to me. I don't get where the hatred is there. It's good to have pride in your team and to be confident and to show your support. But there's a point where it's no longer showing your support, but it's just drama. It's no better than Real Housewives of whatever, or it's no better than Sister Wives or any of those other reality shows that are based in drama and stuff. It's no better than that. So the one thing that I always enjoy about some of the fights in UFC, I don't watch Bellator as much, but I like it when the victor knocks someone out and then checks on them to see if they're all right. I like it when there was a submission and the guy who just submitted the other person hugs him or grabs his hand and shakes it. He's like, hey, the fight's over. You did good. To me, it takes a real sportsman to shake the victor's hand. It takes a real sportsman to shake the hand or acknowledge the person you just beat and acknowledge that they put up a good fight and to nurture their potential so maybe you can fight again. It gets when you're like that, at least for me anyways, it makes it where I want to fight that person again, in the competitive way. It's not based in hatred, but it's like, hey, I improved a little bit. Let's see if we can have a rematch, and I can show you how much I improved. It's, you're making each other better athletes, and that's what I really like. Also, something that I want to mention is not as big of a deal. To me, I prefer when in UFC or Bellator, if someone hits someone and knocks them out and they go to the ground, I would kind of appreciate it if they didn't jump on him and start bashing the skull in. To me, a knockout's a knockout. You don't have to push it any farther than that. But that's a different subject. I guess I did open that can of worms, but I just would like to see more sportsmanship and more respect between the competitors. It seems pretty simple to me. I used to watch XMA and K1, K1 kickboxing and XMA extreme martial arts, and you never have these people bickering back and forth, showing disrespect to each other. That they liked each other. They liked competing with each other. It was a fun thing, and I just think it's really, really sad when the sport that what's the word I'm looking for? The sport you're trying to build up. Like, people can't watch the sport and enjoy the sport. They need some kind of hook to get in their attention. It's like, wow, MMA is not good enough anymore. People knocking each other out and submitting them. We have to have drama to get more people in. It just waters down the sport. It makes it more, to me, not as cool. I like UFC. I will continue to watch them. It's a very dynamic sport. You got Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu, boxing, wrestling, karate, taekwondo, what have you, all in the same ring. It's very dynamic. I love that about it. But I would just like to see a little bit less drama. I'd like to see more martial arts and less people just talking about, how they're better than the other person and how they're going to teach them a lesson and how their family sucks. I am looking forward to Ronda Rousey's rematch when it happens, because apparently that's going to be the deciding factor if she retires or not, which I have mixed feelings about that. I don't really think you should base your retirement on your next match because you lost one match. It's like, oh, if I lose twice, I'm going to retire. But if she's getting tired of the sport, that's her choice, and if she no longer enjoys it, then maybe she should retire. Anywho, I love MMA. I love martial arts and combat sports in general. Just to show you my Morgan silver dollar. The reason why I brought this out, I filmed a couple of videos on Instagram of me doing the coin roll, and I'm not that good. The knuckle roll was made famous by Lethal Weapon. It was either Lethal Weapon 2 or 3, I can't remember. Mel Gibson wins a gold Kudarad. and a gold Cougarad is an African coin. And what's interesting about the Cougarad is that it's not 9999 fine gold. It's a gold alloy. It's like 99 point whatever gold, which is interesting because usually when you buy bullion, you're getting the pure state of that precious metal, but in a Cougarad, you're not. Doesn't mean I still don't want one. I'd love to be at a event and be able to drop my silver dollar, but I'd love to be at an event and be like, I'm like Mel Gibson. I can roll a coin on my fingers. I like flourishes. That's why I like the ballad song. And I'll have a hat flourish video up sometime, hopefully soon. But yeah, the reason why I brought this out is because I have some videos on Instagram of me doing it. They're not that good, but I'm announcing that I have an Instagram account. For those of you who do not know, I have an Instagram account, a lot of knife pictures. Used to, the people who's been watching me for a long time know that I have some photography slideshows. I'm not really doing that anymore. I'm just uploading them to Instagram. And I have a lot of knife pictures. I have some, landscape pictures, some memes, some funny joke type things. But if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's Austin Cobaltson, my full name, H5. I don't know if there's any other Austin Culbersons on Instagram, but the H5 stands for Satsu 5. And you're more than welcome to watch my profile. It's not on private. And you get to see things that I don't necessarily put on YouTube. And sometimes it's, a new product that I get in the mail, I'll put it on Instagram before I actually make a video on it. And sometimes it's just off-the-wall stuff. So that's not on YouTube. So I wanted to point that out to you, and I thought I'd do it in an artistic way by showing you the knuckle roll. And I hope to get better at it. And that's it. I hope you'll have a great day. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm a Satsu 5.